Giant occupies the 82nd position in the American Film Institute's list of the top 100 films in cinema history. The film is based on a screenplay by Fred Guyal and Ivan Moffat and is adapted from a novel by Edna Ferber. The events are set in Texas and span 25 years, starting from the early 1920s, highlighting the changes that the family undergoes throughout the storyline. Directed by George Stevens and starring Elizabeth Taylor, Rock Hudson, James Dean, Carol Baker, Jane Withers, and Mercedes McCambridge, Giant was produced in 1956 and has a runtime of 120 minutes. The story begins with a wealthy man named Bick Benedict, who owns a massive 600,000-acre ranch in Texas called Riata dedicated to raising cattle and sheep. He travels to Maryland on the East Coast to buy a thoroughbred horse, but meets a young, beautiful, and educated aristocrat named Leslie Lynnton during his visit. He falls in love with her, and they quickly get married. Leslie moves to Texas with Bick and is met with intense coldness from his elder sister, Luz, making her feel unwelcome. Leslie struggles to adapt to the new environment, especially with the household arrangements dominated by Luz, and detests the treatment of women as second-class citizens and discrimination against local Mexicans, which does not bother Bick as he inherited these views from his father. Leslie befriends a worker out of compassion, and they develop mutual feelings. This worker envies Bick for his wealth and wife, while Leslie shows concern for the poor Mexican families living in a nearby village and helps them, whereas Bick pays them no mind. The movie portrays the relationship between Bick and Leslie from the time they meet and have children who grow up. Several other events unfold, including the death of Bick's sister, Luz, in an accident, leading to rebellious young Jet Rink inheriting a piece of land from Luz as a token of appreciation. Upon discovering oil on the land, Jet becomes a wealthy, influential, yet arrogant and malevolent man whose wealth brings him nothing but misery and a tragic end. The story illustrates that children do not always follow in their parents' footsteps. Leslie and Bick's son chooses not to dedicate his life to managing his father's ranch as his father did, but instead decides to become a doctor and insists on marrying the Mexican girl he loves. One of their daughters falls in love with Jet Rink, the son's rival. As time passes, Bick watches the world change around him, with his children disagreeing with his views and rejecting his principles. Leslie strengthens her independent personality and principles over time, and it becomes evident that the state changes with the times and evolves, becoming a central character in the story of Giant.